So, good afternoon, good night, good morning, whatever time of day it is where you are. Welcome to another podcast of Beyond the Silence, Beyond the Pain. And so last time we spoke about is infidelity abusive? This week we're going to be looking at how to spot a narcissist. And next week, we'll be looking at what are the signs of abuse. So I look forward to all of these sessions with Dr. Allen because there's so much wisdom that he carries. And as he says, I have the experience and he has the knowledge. So hopefully between the both of us, you'll be able to benefit. So as I said before, Dr. Allen is the founder and head of Whole Person Growth Facility. There's this wonderful website he has that you can access. I refer to that website and to his book in my own book, Blink Twice, which you can get on Amazon. And so we look forward to this conversation. So Dr. Allen, over to you. How do we spot a narcissist?
Well, this is an interesting subject because people very often confuse narcissism with people who are self-absorbed. You have people who may be self-absorbed for different reasons. You have people, for example, who are perfectionists and they're always looking at what people say about them because they always want to be right, to do the right thing. And if they're easy to feel guilty, and if they do something wrong or they displease somebody else, they'll feel bad and always want to go overboard. So this is one
Yes.
type of self-absorption. You have some people um, who are over-dependent and they want to please people and they will allow people to take advantage of them to please people.
Mm-hmm.
And they always get in trouble with people taking advantage. So that's another type of self-absorption that doesn't pay off. But this type of self-absorption, you have to understand. So this has to do with a personality disorder, right? That is narcissism has to do with a personality disorder, which is defined in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of the American Psychiatric Association. So what that is really saying, and what I'll say as I go to the definition is that narcissism is a continuum. It's like a spectrum. Some people are severely, obviously narcissistic, very, very toxic, and you have people who are mildly narcissistic, and it may not affect relationships so much. And some people are in the middle. So it's on a continuum. All right. Well, one aspect of it is that there is the aspect of grandiosity, that people tend to think of themselves more than they really are, right? Um, so, and this self-preoccupation, because, when you come across somebody and you hear, oh, I have a very good job, and, I spoke to the governor general the other day, you know, and, I just got on the phone to the president. This may be true, but everybody's going to know that I'm a highly successful person. I'm a highly connected person. I'm a rich and I'm a wealthy person. People are going to know you because you let them know.
Yes.
So this grandiosity, talking about I and my success and my achievements and so on,
Do they
is
talk
what.
about their family and their children and their wives as well?
Oh
Or
yes, because they may speak about their children. Oh, my son went to Harvard or went to Yale. They will speak about that, not looking at the success of the children and say, that is good. But
yeah,
it reflects on me.
yes,
If my wife is a company president,
right.
they will talk about their wives, but just again to reflect on, oh, your wife is one. They're not, there could be abusing your wife,
Yes.
but they will trot her out, or very often the wives must dress nice and be pretty and be like what you call it, a
Trophy
model.
wife. Trophy
Yeah,
wife.
trophy wife to show how good I am. Look at the wife I have.
Yes.
Look at her. Man, you die for a woman like that. you know, so, so this is the type of person. And sometimes these people make, as we have a term in our culture, we say you feel small. They make you feel small, like you're nobody. You're not successful. Type of person make you feel small. So that grandiosity. And there's the other aspect that the these people want to feel admired. It ties into the grandiosity.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that they will do things, and I will come around it to it in more detail. But they will do things to get admiration in terms of how
Mm.
they dress, they smile, nice, and they'll do anything to be admired.
Yes.
Um, and I'll come back to that. And the other aspect is lack of empathy. So seeking to be admired, grandiose, but the thing is, as long as you are on their side, you're fine.
Yes.
But if you are not on their side, it's another story.
Yes.
And they lack empathy now. They will put down people. You see, that man is an idiot, he's a joker. And then my wife, boy, she's a she don't have any brain in her head. She's a scatterbrain, that type of thing. And you know, lacking empathy the way you put down people when you're ready, you know.
But Doc,
So these
I mean,
are
it
some,
can be the wife or the woman who is
or
also
the
the nice.
woman, that woman, or my, or
Yeah.
my wife,
Yes.
type
Yes.
of
Yes.
thing. But like, and then so the people that they put down in the process, they lack empathy, and the damage they will lie and spread stories about people. But the thing now is this, that the first thing about this a personality disorder is in terms of if their pattern is, it doesn't fit into a culture. Or some cultures, people tend to be boastful and to be, they say in the French culture, the men are, oh la la, and, my dear, and,
Yes.
romantic, and the Italian, all of these cultural things that they say. No, it's not a cultural thing.
Yes.
It's where um, the behavior doesn't fit into the culture. But not everybody is going to be all these things, the grandiosity and the lack of empathy and so on.
Yes.
So it is something which is not necessarily part of the culture, and you could say it's unusual in some ways, and also it's an inflexible pattern that you might find some people, they may be among friends, and men will boast sometime about, wrongfully of course, how many women they have, or or boast about how the girl them like them, and harmless banter. Man, I'm a woman's man. Harmless banter and so on.
Trailer
But
load of girl.
the narcissist know that what is happening is that this is an inflexible behavior. No matter where they are the same. And that if at home the person is self-absorbed and grandiose and putting down his wife, lack empathy, he's going to be the same when he's working with the secretary.
Mm.
He's going to be the same when he's working with his staff.
Mm-hmm.
When he's dealing with the head of government, whoever he's with, is going to behave the same.
Yes.
And what it means is that this type of behavior then affects the person's functioning.
Yes.
It's maladaptive.
Yes.
So when they sit there now, they are trying to improve the situation, adapting better, it what you call it backfires, and it affects the person's functioning. Because
Yes.
in the long run, if it's an abusive relationship, they're going to lose that relationship. If you have employees that can't stand you and you keep putting them down, you have a high staff turnover.
Yes.
If you end up being a bore to friends, you lose your friends, you know. If you're a put down person in the workplace or otherwise, people will spot you and say, you know, I don't want to do with that person.
Yes.
But, you know, they are, so it becomes, it affects their functioning and other people's well being as well.
Yes.
So it's dysfunctional and it's maladaptive, right?
Yes.
Now,
So I just want to just make sure we're clear that women can be narcissists as well.
yes,
Make
yes,
it
indeed
very
so.
clear that it's
Very much
can
so.
happen
I mean,
either way.
there's a tendency that more males are narcissists, but the fact is women can
Yes.
be very much narcissists
Yes.
as well, right? And the man would suffer in the same, the man would suffer in the same way.
Yes.
Now, the thing is this, there's a lot more talk about narcissism these days, and it has a lot to do with culture and also toxic spirituality, you know. But we are now in the media culture. So if you become a media figure, a media personality,
Yes.
that's what narcissists like, you know. And you become a media, and sometimes every time they're having a radio or TV program, they're calling this person as an expert. What do you think about this and that? And so you become a media personality. And of course, social media is built for narcissists.
Ah,
So the
I
more
like
likes
that
you
one.
can get,
Sir,
you know,
repeat that for me, please. Just repeat
social
that.
media is the sea, is the bedrock, is the sea, is the garden for narcissists. Yes, you know, because the amount of likes you can get, the amount of followers you can get, and all of that, man, the narcissist revels in that. And this thing about the ads that you can get for your followers, the more followers you have. And you see, the social media rigs their algorithms for that. And
Yes.
the more likes, the more ads, the more they get money. So they are in the game too,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So we are not pro narcissistic culture
Culture.
and technology, and you know, the capitalist system also, you know, because a lot of executives now, you find several successful executives are narcissists because they tend to lack empathy, so they can be tough and they can exploit people to make more money. You know, they may not care about the public and the ads that they put out that are not honest, that are lies and so on. As long as the money comes in, you pay off who you can pay off. No empathy, people suffer. And so, you know, they suffer from the bad food, from the cigarettes, or whatever it is. But you want to get more money, your
Yes.
friends, you pay off your friends and so on, you know. So, and nowadays we've been hearing about the Me Too generation, you know, the Me Too movement, where you have people who have been movie stars who have abused a whole lot of women
Yes.
that has
Yes.
been coming out.
But the whole thing about the church, though, sir. I
Now
mean,
soon come to the church. I soon come. But I was saying that the movie industry, which makes a lot of money,
yes.
so you find, you know, and it's part of the patriarchal culture, Western patriarchal culture too, because it's men who tend to control these things, you know, traditionally. So coming back to the movie thing now,
Yes.
is that women want to be able to and get into the movie industry. So the men will say, man, yeah, man, just come around to my house and I want you to read some scripts, you know, and then I will judge you and I will sign you up to my friends. And they come around and they say, put aside those scripts. We don't want to hear nothing about that now. It's me and you now, you know. And
Very
then the
sad.
abuse starts in that context, you know. And of course, people who own the big radio thing and they give TV stations and they, you know, they will give people breaks. And we have seen different characters. I will not mention the name, but
Yes. Yes.
many of us who follow the media know who some of these characters are, even people in politics.
Yeah.
Because, you know, power is a turn on. It is said that power is a sexual turn on, and it
Right.
goes both ways. And some people are turned on by being in the presence of power, and the admiration falls off on them, the money falls off. So narcissists, can lie and big up themselves and create a mirage of a powerful person which can attract people who are dependent,
That's it.
who lack self-esteem, and who want to be near a powerful person.
Yes.
And I know that person and so on, and they take advantage in that particular way. So that is why narcissism is much more being spoken about. And of course, more people are hearing about domestic abuse and the role of narcissism in that. So coming to some of the features, lack of empathy we spoke about.
Yes.
We spoke about the grandiosity already. Um, the exploitation is part of it too. A narcissist will exploit people for their own good. As I
Wow.
said, they will lie, they will put you down, they will spread stories about you.
Mm.
The narcissists are what I call vampires, emotional
Ooh.
vampires. Yes, they will suck out admiration. They will suck out um, being bigged up. They will put you down. They will drain people emotionally to big up themselves. And people end up, when you deal with a narcissist, you leave, you feel drained.
Wow.
You feel emotionally exhausted. And, I've had some experiences myself, friends and sometimes colleagues. And my answer has been, I never have anything to do with that person because they make me feel drained. And I have to realize I do my thing. If they don't approve of me, that doesn't matter. As long as I do my best to serve people, etc. I'm
Yes.
not in there for approval. And you
Yes.
don't worry about, but otherwise they play games in your head,
That's the
you know,
point. The
and
end
make
game.
you feel that,
Yes.
and that you don't matter, you're nobody,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that their egos are very fragile. They may
Mm.
appear tough and bombastic and so on. But because they are so much into what you call a narcissistic supply, you know, it's like somebody who's hungry, and the more narcissistic supply they get, the better they feel. If the
Wow.
supply goes too low, they begin to feel itchy and restless. And they have to find ways now to put you down, to milk you, to speak bad of that person, whatever, so that they can get their narcissistic supply of admiration and justification for being the big and bad person and so on.
Mm.
So these are some of the aspects of what a narcissist is like. So that is it. So we can probably look at the narcissistic relationship now, or narcissistic abuse. What is it that narcissists do that contribute to an abusive?
Can I ask
Um,
you a question
yes.
though? Can I ask you a question though, Doc? I remember years ago you had given me an example. You had used the word Anansi. And I wondered, is that similar to the narcissist, the distorted Anansi? Let me read it.
Anansi is a cultural meme or tool which comes out of Ghana,
Yes.
and it really is talking about ways in which people can deal with the oppressor, or the oppressed deals with the oppressor by being a trickster
Yes.
and turning the culture against the oppressor without their knowing it.
Yes.
Anansi was supposed to be a spider god who sometimes was a man, sometimes was a spider on the wall, listening
Yes.
to what is going on, and picking up all the intelligence. It
Yes.
goes back into a man who knows now how to operate.
Yes.
So, in Jamaica, we took over Nancy, who is a
Yes.
trickster. But the unfortunate thing is that sometimes people use Anansi and his tricksterism not as a way to deal with oppression, but as a way to get around people and to manipulate people.
Okay.
So people use Anansi tactics,
Yes.
Manipulation. So I prefer to use the word manipulation.
Manipulation.
Yes, yes, you know. So one way of manipulating people is what you call love bombing.
Mm.
You know. Now one and I'll come to this point when we speak about why we're talking about narcissism so much. I mentioned the media. I'd mentioned big money and the marketplace and so on. But let me mention toxic spirituality
Ooh.
and church and cults, even political cults, right? That politicians are prone to be narcissists because if you can speak with a smooth, silky tongue and you can rattle it off, I am here to make you people feel great. I am here for you. I am the greatest, and we are making Jamaica or making England into a new country,
Yes.
fighting for the motherland, and we were great people. Hitler was a
Oh.
narcissist. The woman at when Hitler spoke, people would gather around him, and he would start off by he would shuffle, he would shuffle. And was talking what was his known fact. He would shuffle around and appear to lack confidence
Yes.
and keep quiet for about 5 minutes, and everybody would be on edge. What's happening to this man? And they want to hear him, man, and they're on
Yes.
edge, and they start to clap, and they start to speak softly, you know, good to be here with you. And our country has gone through a difficult time, and we all have to come together for the motherland. And then it goes soaring up now, and him raise him hand and him turn around and everybody, Ray. And the woman, I'm just being very frank.
Yes.
Sometimes the woman will get a turn on.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, seriously. Again, the toxic masculinity and the
Yes.
culture, the power would become like a sex thing,
Wow.
and the other way around too.
Wow.
But this is what narcissists would do as in politics,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they blow up themselves, and it would get to the stage where if you are against that cult-like political leader,
Yes.
people are going to turn against you and destroy you. So that's one aspect of narcissism. If you are not for me,
Yes.
you are against me.
Yes.
That narcissists are into splitting. Either you are for me, it's not that
There's no
some for me and
compromise. No
no compromise.
Yes.
My way
Or
or
the
the
highway.
highway. And that is how narcissist politicians are.
I did it
And they
my way.
divide and conquer. In the church, it can be the same thing.
Yes.
Because toxic spirituality gives an impression of religion. That people come to church or whatever to get a high, to deal with the difficulties of life, to feel good, man, and you turn on and you feel good and you leave filling up your emotional tank at church. But again, because a narcissist knows how to spot people's weaknesses, and they know that men and women are being abused, and they are there for the woman. All the difficulty you go through and the challenges, and we love you. All of us love you, man. We are here for you. And this is what not the love bombing.
Oh
And
gosh.
and then the people in the church now follow. And we have heard of people in cults. Jonestown in Guyana was one, but there was another one in one of these African countries. I think it was Kenya.
Yes,
The
recently.
report was that the man told the people, if you want to get to heaven, because God is coming soon,
Yes.
and to make sure to get to heaven, you have to starve yourself to death. And if you did, you would be sure to get to heaven.
My God.
And they found hundreds of people in the forest were
My God.
bodies. That shows how narcissistic religion due to narcissistic leaders
Yes.
who will manipulate and love bombing as a form of manipulation. And coming back to relationships, this man sees a nice woman And he said, boy, that is the woman I want. And I said, darling, woo, you make me feel like a new man. You know, when I look into your limpid eyes, they are like limpid pools, and I just see in the depths, and I just feel that you're the woman for me. You know, and that, I'm glad that God made you, because now I know that my life is worthwhile because you have come into my life and I feel a sense of purpose. And by the time it's finished, the woman just melts in his arms
Oh, yes.
and he has a smile, and people say, boy, that man is such a lovely, that woman. She has the nicest smile I know. She's the
Yeah.
most pleasant person that I
Mm-hmm.
ever met.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so that is how they manipulate people. The love bombing. So
Yes.
when they catch you now, the love bombing. And then, um, they can now begin to ignore boundaries, and now they begin to want to manipulate, and I must get my way or the highway.
It's about me again. It's
And you
about
come in the
me.
power and abuse cycle,
Yes.
and the financial control, and the control about relationships, friendships, and whether you work or not, sexual control,
Yes.
and emotional abuse. All these things now, when you begin to, what is me you're talking about? You could never be speaking about, I'm such a great person, but I'm also, people love me. People admire me. I am the talk of the town. You talking about me? And I get into their gaslighting,
Yes. Yes.
and you're talking nonsense. You're
Mm.
talking foolishness. When you see all the people out there, what they have to, how could you? Who are you to be saying things about a great man like I,
Wow.
and they say, how am I dressed? What you think about that talk I gave? And anyhow you say, but darling, you could have done what? People say I'm the best, and you have to be there guessing and spelling now, and
Yes.
your foot don't slip to say the wrong thing, and you begin to lose your personality now to this narcissist.
That's it.
I have to give in to everything. Here's where the highway. Here's where the highway, and I lose my personality.
Yes.
This is how many people now they lose their self-esteem. They lose their personality because they have to be given in to please the narcissist, that they end up accepting that I am a nobody and
Yes.
I must have done something wrong
Yes.
to displease that person, and I'm a bad person because they get into projection. It's
Yeah.
never me. It's always you that caused me to do these things.
That's it.
Projection. They don't want to accept, but I remember we said that they're very fragile when they have to get face their weaknesses front on. They can get depressed, but they don't want to get depressed or anxious.
Yes.
And you become the scapegoat. Everything is on you and it's your fault and what have you. You feel bad. So people now feel like they are nobody and they lose their personality to get to so they don't get nitpicking. Narcissists nitpick, every little thing they want to. Why not wear dress properly? How you dress like it a fall off you? you know?
But
And
let me ask you a question because
the food you cook, the rice not taste nice. You find every little thing to nitpick to put down their spouse.
boy, Doc, the question I would ask you, is this a question at all? How do you live with a narcissist? Is that a question that someone should ever ask?
One cannot be healthy physically, sorry, emotionally, spiritually, physically, or relationally around a narcissist.
Can you
As I
repeat
say,
that,
a
sir?
narcissist is a vampire, they drain you.
Can you repeat that statement you made a while
One
ago?
cannot be healthy emotionally, physically, spiritually, and relationally around a narcissist because they
Amen.
drain you, they drain us to get their narcissistic supply. They're like an emotional vampire. And they will chew you up, and at the end, they will spit you out. Because at the end of it, they will reject you and spit you out when they finish with you. Yes, you're on the ground, they will stamp on you. When they have no use for you, no use for the employee, no use for the other persons who they were courting and give money to. Some people would buy people, they will be like what do you call it, a donor, a benefactor. You buy people with money and all this, but when you don't please them, when you don't become their narcissistic supply, when it's not their way, then they will spit you out and stamp on you and have no use. They will insult you. They can be very insulting, extremely insulting. And they can get into gossip. They will spread
Rumors.
rumors and slander
And they're
about
rude. They're
people.
rude. They just don't
They're
know how to
insulting.
speak to
Yes.
people.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
telling you, it is a bad scene. But
Yes.
let me ask you another question, because I
Yes.
hear these things going around. So can a narcissist change?
Remember we said that about the definition from the DSM 3 or 4 is that it is a type of behavior that is inflexible. It doesn't change. It's always a part of their coping. And because they feel fragile, they're not going to feel whole without putting down all of these things to feel like they are somebody. So they don't change. Otherwise, they get depressed or whatever. And it's a persistent pattern of behavior, inflexible and persistent pattern of behavior. So, and that is one of the things that I want to try to get across to people who are experiencing abuse. And there's somebody I know who I said certain things and they didn't like me. And some of my patients don't like me. Because what I'll say to them, if this person did this to you one time, they're going to do it again. Let us say one time and they didn't apologize.
Yes.
And they felt justified. They are going to do it again and again and again. So you better get used that this is what you're going to be living with.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you whether you must leave that, but I will give you the facts that from the definition, from experience, from understanding, this is a pattern of adjustment that the person has. Their way to cope, their way to feel happy, their way to deal with life. They're not going to give it up for you. They're going to do it again and again and again. So if you are suffering, if you are being traumatized, feeling drained, is going to continue and continue. So you must decide now, is that what you want your future to be?
That's it.
Difficult decision.
That's
you
it.
will feel, sometimes people feel guilty, for leaving the person. They're feeling guilty that they are betrayed. Even to talk to somebody about it, I don't want to betray my spouse.
Yes.
To keep silent because they don't want to betray the spouse.
Doc, this particular topic, I kind of wondering whether we need a part 2 for it, because it is such an important topic. And especially, there's a lot of talk about, people are saying that we need to learn how to live with them, because you have these questions that are asked, like, so what did you do to trigger him? What did you do to cause him to get this angry? Those are the kinds of questions that you are being asked when people don't understand that these people are they can't be helped, really.
one thing I will say, and this is where the deceptiveness about narcissism comes in. Narcissists fool people. So you find that that a lovely bishop, a lovely pastor or a lovely politician, and businessman, successful. Everybody, boy, this is the best
Yes,
person I've ever
man.
met. And so who are you now in the church to
Yes.
come and be telling people and spreading gossip about me? Who
Yes.
are you? And people will descend on you.
Oh my goodness.
They will descend on and even our court systems have been places where if a woman goes and say I've been raped or I've been abused or what, I mean they will end up feeling worse.
Yes.
And this is
Yes.
why it is very important now to have legal reform
Yes.
where if what it said is that sometimes a woman or a man who is being abused and the police are told they complain to the police, and when they are about to bring a charge and have the person convicted, the person feel guilty and they feel, boy, I'm going to mash up the person's life. And no, sorry, I just lose my head. I was just being difficult. No, I withdraw the charge.
Yes.
But they're having a law now.
Yes.
Because you see, when you and I sit down, people sit down and say, it's the woman's fault.
Yes.
You should just walk away.
Yes.
It's not that easy. And I'm saying it that narcissists have a way to get in people's head.
Yes.
I am saying that narcissists have power over people. Let me say it clearly.
Yes.
They have power over people.
Yes.
There are people I stay clear of because if I give them a chance, they will have power over me.
Wow.
People have the capacity to have power over people.
Yes.
That's why we have to read for ourselves, get knowledge for ourselves.
Yes.
We know where we stand.
Yes.
But people can talk you down.
Yes.
They can make you feel like an idiot and make you feel, boy, you have to believe what I'm saying. And you just get mixed up.
Yes.
People have that power. In the pulpit, people are given that power.
Yes.
And it's real power.
My God.
And when people lie, that's a type of power too. Because who am I to say that person is lying? So I wouldn't believe that it's a type of power. When you go on a plane, you're in the hands of the pilot.
Yes.
You're going to believe that the pilot was drinking or the pilot give a false report on his medical. When the pilot say, we're flying, leaving momentarily and we're going to that altitude and we will land, you'll put your hands in the life of a pilot.
Yeah.
When people go to church, they put their hands in the life of the pastor. When you vote, you put your future in the hands of a politician.
Yes.
When you go to a professional or what, you put in so when people put our lives in their own hands, even a partner is the same thing.
Yes.
Until death do us part.
Wow.
How much do we want to do that?
Wow.
How much do we really, So we have how are we sure? So if you spot now that this person is a narcissist, and you see these thing of they will idealize you, make you feel good, and the next breath they will put you down. When it's not their way, they will spit you out.
Yes.
And stamp on you, and you get anxious and depressed and all your trauma and everything. Post-traumatic stresses, all those things.
Yes.
If you're not feeling well, if you're feeling something is being taken out of your spirit is being drained, you're suffering.
Something is
When you
wrong.
continue, something is wrong. Trust your own judgment.
Yes.
I encourage people, learn to trust your inner radar, your inner warning system.
Yes.
If you see a red flag, don't make anybody put it down. I said, man, no. Trust your intuition. Cultivate your intuition. Yes.
Yes. I want to thank you, Doc. I mean that you have summed it up so well. It's as you say, it's a blood-sucking demon. It's something that drains your emotion and almost like plays with your head. It plays with your mind, it plays with your heart, and it plays with your soul. And that is the danger of this. And And it can lead you into hell if you're not careful. And the only way, the only thing to do is to just remove yourself. If it's a job and you're earning lots of money, best thing to do, remove yourself. So,
Yes.
you
And
know,
I will say this.
yes,
Sometimes a couple goes to a psychiatrist or a professional counselor, to a pastoral counselor. And unless that professional or psychologist knows about domestic abuse and in and out of it, that that abusing partner they can come to the interview and cry
yes,
and make the professional feel bored that
yes,
this partner of mine is being troublesome,
yes,
oversensitive, and you say, but Mrs. So and so, you
yeah.
really feel that from my listening to him, I mean, it seems like he doesn't have any intentions like that. I'm not sure what is happening. But the thing is, the professionals, I say this to counselors, pastoral counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, learn, read about abuse, study it,
Yes,
be willing to hear both sides.
sides of the
And
story.
one of the things I recommend, see the partners separately.
Separate.
Both of them. So I'm going to see you together at first. I will see you separately for a number of sessions so you can form your own opinion. Then you might come together and you may have to decide, well, let me just see this person alone for
Yes,
some time or forever. So it
indeed.
has to be as flexible as that. So you can get to your own independent
Definitely.
understanding. That is
Yes.
very important.
Okay, so thank you again, Doc. I mean, I really appreciate what you said. And yeah, we look forward to the next session, which is what are the signs of abuse? So thank you, sir. Have a
Yeah.
great rest of the day, everybody.